You're listening to Salford City Radio, the Friday sports show of your host, Jimmy Petruzzi. Been useful like there around the world. We're fortunate to show to have interviewed some of the world's best athletes, sports people, coaches, trainers, you name it, been on the show. We've had a segment featuring psychologists and people in related fields, talk about their research, which has been really, really interesting stuff. Today we have a fascinating guest. One thing that we do know for sure listening to this show is that some of the best athletes in the world do a lot of planning, that's for sure. But I suppose we can all plan, and moving into like the summer months as well, there's so much happening in the UK throughout the summer months. We have a really fascinating guest who I've been looking forward to talk to. He is the CEO and founder of Onin, the online calendar organizer. I've got my pen and paper here. I'm going to try and organise the rest of my day. Ryan Brodie, founder of Onin, welcome to the show. Great to have you on board.
Hi Jimmy, yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you on board. So, I mean, in terms of like planning, give us a bit of insight in terms of what you do, what sort of, from a planning perspective, Ryan, how do you sort of plan, summer at the moment and there's so much going on. Do you actually sort of like take some time to think what you're going to be doing and where you're going to prioritise time?
Not too much really. I mean that would be probably wise, but the truth is, I think like most of us, our research found that 80% of Brits are planning their lives through messaging apps like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. So that's me too. Me and my friends and my family, we're talking a lot about events, and obviously those services aren't really made for that. They do work, but you lose stuff, don't you? You kind of scrolling back by the messages. What do we agree? And even how people talk about time. Next week, this week. People muddle up, so I'm like that in many ways. But again, for me, it's trying to get it in the diary, isn't it? Once it's in your diary, you won't forget.
Absolutely, it's really interesting. I maybe it's me, I don't know, but I still use like the pen and paper so I can sort of see it, and I've not really adapted to technology such the calendar type thing. And I mean, in terms of yourself, I mean, do you have many events planned throughout the summer? There's so much going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm birthday's in August, so I'm turning 30 in August. So I'm having a party for my 30th. Lots in May. I mean, we've got 3 bank holidays, then we come up in May.
Absolutely.
Go back home, see friends and family. More friends' birthdays, hopefully play a bit of golf, a bit of tennis. I'm trying to make the most of it.
Absolutely. And would you say you're good at organising yourself?
Well, I am. I'm better. I guess to touch on what we've been working on. We're trying to bring your calendar, or we have brought your calendar into any messaging app, and I found that makes life a lot easier, because it's how you're constantly at the moment on your phone, you're switching back and forth. And
absolutely.
The irony is, you normally switch out, then you get a notification from Twitter or whatever, then suddenly you're on Twitter and you're not even in your calendar and you haven't responded to your friend, and it's never gone in, and you know what I mean? So for me, I've gotten a lot more organised, thanks to our new app, because I'm not leaving the WhatsApp. I'm staying there, I'm getting things organised really quickly, and it's going straight in my diary, and then, it's kind of done. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And in terms of I know my own experience at times, I have various events and engagements to go to. Generally, I'm pretty good, to be fair, but occasionally what can happen is maybe, actually, I suppose you could argue through poor planning, I might miss out on something type thing. Do you find that happens to people or yourself, where you sort of maybe double book something, and I think it's difficult once you sort of double book to know what to prioritise?
Yeah, well, that's it. It's very, very easy to happen, isn't it? Because so the research we found, only 40% of all of these plans in these messaging apps ever go into a diary, be it physical or digital or whatever, and that's not great. Just thinking of you, obviously big into your sports, one thing I love in terms of organisation is that, subscribing to whatever football team you follow. I can imagine in Salford who you support, but whoever you support, Formula One season, those kind of things, like that to me is a massive benefit of a digital calendar versus a paper calendar, because
absolutely.
With the World Cup, when all the fixtures were being moved around, it was nice that the calendar just updated,
Yeah, absolutely. No, it would have been, a huge help thinking back on it. No, but that's a good point. Funny you should say, I mean, on that subject, if I'm honest, and because I'm also involved in sort of like coaching as well with a couple of teams, and on the weekend, what I'll do on a Friday, truth be told, I'll sort of sit down and just sort of go over, which games I've got to go to, or which games I want, because I'm a fan as well, watch on TV, and it's easy to kind of overlook that and sort of not pick it back up again, and then you sort of into the weekend you think, I should be here, or how am I going to make it from here to there type thing. So I can sort of see the sense in that. Do you think in terms of from a cultural perspective in the UK, is it something that sort of the research, or is any research suggest that people in the UK are planners, or maybe what's the sort of rundown research?
So we found that almost a third of Brits already have plans for every weekend in May. But I think we're an incredibly social bunch. So I think there's a lot of willing there. But again, maybe organisation-wise, with such low numbers of these plans actually going into diaries, maybe we could do better. Yeah,
absolutely. And in terms of people, let's say we've talked about sort of Manic May, but also just in general, really, I think you could make the case for any month can depending on what someone's got on, can be manic. But what are some tips that people can do? Any sort of ideas that maybe you could suggest that people can sort of consider, just to sort of and I think if you're planning, you sort of enjoy the moment a lot more too as well, because you can kind of just be in that moment type thing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really want to be thinking about this, do you? You want it just kind of taken care of. So I think my first advice would be to make sure to add, you've probably got a work calendar and a personal calendar.
Yeah.
Make sure you've added both to your phone, and also make use of shared calendars with your partner. Especially if you've got children, it's very useful in terms of sharing responsibilities. And then I guess from there, the app that we've developed works with all those existing calendars, but then brings that calendar into your chat apps. So if you are like I am, constantly planning my life, messaging my friends and family. Now make plans within those apps, so you can install our keyboard extension. It's free, and then once you've installed it in any app, you can switch your keyboard to be a calendar with just one tap, and then you can even create events within that keyboard without leaving the WhatsApp. So again, it all comes together really nicely, because it works with your existing calendar providers, and it just means it's in your existing flows, because we're already doing this, right? We're already making plans and messaging apps, and we don't think that should change.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I suppose you've mentioned there like work and home, but I can almost see like a case for this for people like in academia, like maybe students as well, university students, sort of being able to kind of organise themselves as well in terms of like maybe they've got social events, but as well exams, essays, other things like that too. We could have its use. Is anyone sort of interested to know more, or want to like is there anywhere they can go where they can sort of see more info?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you search Onin on the App Store, ONIN, you can download the free app and then give it a go.
Brilliant, fantastic. Thanks for your time, Ryan. It's been really informative and interesting. That was Ryan Brodie, founder of Onin on Salford City Radio.
Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Thank you. So all the best.
Yes, you too.